Good morning. We know that it is the appointed time. We are awaiting the arrival of a quorum. We're told that they're on their way, and we cannot conduct official business until we have a quorum. So if you'll be patient with us, we should get started a few minutes late. Thank you. Carol, we believe we need 5 for a quorum, and we think we have a quorum. Do you agree? Thank you. Well then, we'll call to order the meeting of the MAP Citizens Advisory Board for May the 26th, 2022. You have been provided with copies of the minutes of our previous meeting on April the 28th. Are there additions or corrections to the minutes? It has been moved by Zane Boatwright and seconded by Cecilia Robinson Woods that we approve the minutes as presented. Is there further discussion? Cast your vote. One of the things that's happened during the COVID pandemic is that we've really gotten new technology so that nobody has to raise their hand to make a motion or no one has to second it. It's all just done on the computer. I don't know whether that's an improvement or not, but it seems to be for us. Anyway, that brings us then to item 3 on our agenda. A is, David, the revenue and expenditure report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have in your packets the MAPS 3 revenue and expenditure report for the period ending April 30th, 2022. On the revenue side for the month, $58,894, and the majority of that is interest, for a fiscal year of $1,007,296, and total $837,272,675. On the expenditure side for the month, $5,280,258, fiscal year of $27,703,131, and a total expenditures of $771,563,405. Then you also have your budget and obligations report showing the obligated amounts for each of the categories. I'll try to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Shall we receive it? It's been moved by Michael Adams and seconded by Cecilia Robinson Woods that we receive the report as submitted. Is there further discussion? Cast your vote. The item has passed. That brings us then to item B. David?
So item B is a presentation on the construction update on MAPS 3 Senior Health and Wellness Center number 1. I'd like to bring this to you periodically to show you what was going on. And we haven't talked about Wellness Center 1 in quite a while, and this is the expansion. And Michael Seagroves from GSB is here to show you what's going on out there. Michael?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Just to bring everyone up to date, this is an expansion to the Senior Health and Wellness Center 1 on North Rockwell. City or the MAPS acquired some additional property from the adjacent property owner to make this project happen, and as a part of the project, we're doing some reconstruction of and expansion of showers and locker rooms in the existing building, adding new dry showers and restrooms and offices on the south side of the building, just in front of the existing gymnasium, a large multi-purpose room with a dividing wall, and additional pickleball courts on an interior gymnasium, as well as additional parking. There you can see the new versus the existing. And just a little color-coded floor plan. The pink in the center is the expansion to the ladies' locker room and construction of 2 additional showers, reconstructing the 3 additional the 3 existing showers on both the men's and women's side. On the bottom, the south side is the new lockers and restrooms, and a couple of offices. Another large lounge space, the multi-purpose room with a speakers platform, and the pickleball gymnasium in blue. And that's just an enlargement of the ongoing reconstruction, and that's actually complete now. And there's the reconstructed showers, expanded locker room, vanities and benches. And there's the first part of the new parking. The base course of asphalt is in. And there the expansion is taking off to the west from the existing entry to the right side of the picture. That's the new entry. The speakers platform with ramp and stair. And you can see the dividing wall. We have pickleball gymnasium, and the HVAC duct is going up. The original construction amount was $3.19 million. We have 5 change orders so far executed. Total of those brings the construction amount at this time to $3.3 million, $334,746. We do have 1 pending change order for $98,470. That would take the construction amount to $3,433,216. Our current scheduled date for substantial completion is July 31st. We have a pending change order to take that to August 30th due to delays in material fabrication. The contractor's not able to get their HVAC units, so they can't install finishes and furniture and that until they have conditioned air. And I'll be happy to answer any questions or go over the change order items if you like.
Any questions? I do have one that may be that David can answer it. Every time we hear a report about Senior Wellness Center #1, things are going great guns out there. I know during the construction, I know this is not your job, but do we continue to have lots of people there, David, still going as well as it was?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and they're, from what I understand from the reports I've had, that they're very excited about what we're doing and want us to hurry up and finish.
Well, I'll leave that to you. All right, then.
We're working on it.
If there are no questions, then why don't we move to item C? Are you going to tell us about the change order, or have you already?
I haven't yet, if you'd have
Go right ahead.
The first item on the change order is remediations to the chemical storage room for the pool. That's cleaning up some corroded equipment, replacing some corroded equipment, doors and door hardware. That's the balance of it, of the change order, $49,820. The operators ask for some carpet modifications to change the pattern. For item 2, item 3 is relocating the dumpster enclosure. It was a little close to the back fence, and that didn't get caught during building plan review, but the fence permit review did catch it, so we relocated that. Item 4 is additional insulation between the pickleball gymnasium and the multipurpose room so that they don't disturb each other. Change order 18 is a small modification in the parking lot to make the drainage work better between the old and the new parking lot for $9,000. And item number 6 is a change in furniture finishes, just going to a more robust, a better grade of furniture finish. They'd seen some additional wear that they really shouldn't have seen from the original furniture, so they want a little bit more robust furniture package.
Okay, thank you. David,
Thank you.
Any comments?
No, sir.
Okay, Michael, I guess this was, I know you said you didn't have a quorum, but was there, did the committee, subcommittee look at this?
There was consensus from those who were there.
Great. Are there other questions? I'll just remind you that this is item C under Roman numeral item 3 on our agenda. Shall we approve it? It's been moved by Michael Dover, seconded by Zane Boatwright, that we approve the change order. Cast your vote. The item is passed. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, sir.
All good news from out there, sounds like. David, item D.
Item D is recommend approval of final acceptance project M3-H003C, MAPS 3 Senior Health and Wellness Center Number 2, locker room expansion, 4021 South Walker Avenue. Maintenance bond number 1 and maintenance bond number 2, and placing maintenance bonds into effect. John Simpner is here to show you the final product. Remember that this is another locker room expansion that we found was needed because of the participation in these senior wellness centers, and I think this turned out very well. I'd like to turn it over to John.
Hi, John.
Thanks, David. You know, this is always an exciting day to get to turn over completed construction. You know, this project was really the success of the pool area in the facility. We just had too many large classes trying to participate at the same time, so we wanted to go ahead and expand the locker rooms and the ability to have larger classes. So if you can go to the next slide. Oh, I have the clicker on. Just to give you a little high level, we're touching about 3,500 square feet in the facility. We originally estimated that our construction bids would come in at about $750,000. We had a really positive bid back in November of 2020. And since we've had some change orders to them that have been approved by both the subcommittee and this board, totaling to $790,000 within our original budget. As you look at the schedule, you'll see when we completed final plans and specs, got into construction back in December of 2020. We really planned to have it completed in November of 2021, and we were there, but we added that one change order to improve the chemical storage room condition. So we wanted to start and show that on the left side of the screen. You can see just some of the deterioration we were seeing in the room. On the right side of the screen, you can see where we've cleaned that up. We've applied better epoxies, especially on some of the structural steel members. It's really just preventative maintenance. And we've talked with staff there about long-term what policies needed to be enacted to ensure the room stays up to standards for a long, long time. To really focus on what this project was, here you can see on the south side of the building, the different areas of blue were the existing spaces that we were renovating. The dark blue is what was remaining. The lighter blue really got reconfigured significantly, and the lightest blue there, you can see the addition. Here on the outside, you can see a rendering of what we proposed and what the original condition was, and here it is today. So you can see, you know, we delivered what we said we would. This is the back side of the building, so it's not a very overly sexy view on that. Really, where the heart of it is the inside. Here you can see the two locker rooms, the blue for the men and the red for the women's. You can see just how much we've expanded them, really allowing for a lot more. You can see we were heavier on the females because a lot of the classes were heavy female participants. So previous condition, this was the changing area for the females. This is what we were trying to achieve, much grander, and here's what we did achieve. So once again, delivering, you can see, you know, easy benches for people to change, great lockers that just blend in seamlessly. In the background, you can see the little swimsuit dryer that everybody in the room, when we were there, were really excited about and talking about. They're using it and enjoying it. Here's some of the other finishes. You can see we've really kept a modern, sleek feel to the restroom. The new showers, they're really enjoying. One final look kind of at the locker room and then on to the men's. Once again, a clean look, a little more subdued in color, but plenty of room, and I think everybody's really excited about the update and the changes. With that, I would take any questions.
Questions for John? Thank you, John. David, any other comments?
No, sir.
All right, shall we move it? It's been moved by Cecilia Robinson Woods that we approve, seconded by Michael Dover. Is there further discussion? Cast your ballot. It passed. Let's go to item E, David.
Item E is recommend approval of change order number 6, project M3-H004, MAPS 3 Senior Health and Wellness Center, number 3, 3820 North Lincoln Boulevard, increase of $19,595. So this is for a chlorine generator upgrade. And remember, we have a chlorine generator because it's a saltwater pool. And that's how it develops its disinfection. What we've learned is that the design for these pools was adequate, but the bathing load that we're getting at these facilities is much more than what was expected and designed for. So we need to upgrade the chlorine generators, and you'll see in both Wellness Center 3 and 4 now during construction, so we don't have to come back and retro those, with the expectation that these are going to be equally successful. So that's what this change order is for.
Questions for David? Yes, Bob.
I'm just curious, it's not a significant one, but there's a $1,000 difference between the chlorine generators and the two projects. Is there a reason for that? Or?
That's a good question, and there is. Larger generators require larger electrical service or bigger wires, and the distance between where those connect at each of the buildings is different, so one costs more than the other one.
All right then, so before us is item E. Shall we approve it? It's been moved by Bob Nalen that we approve it, seconded by Cecilia Robinson Woods. Further discussion? Cast your vote. Unanimously passed. Thank you. That moves to the second similar item, F, David.
Yes, sir. So F is recommend approval of change order number 4, project M3-H005, MAPS 3 Senior Health and Wellness Center, number 4, 13660 Southwestern, increase of $20,669. So this is the same thing, and as Mr. Nealon asked, the reason is because of the wiring issue.
All right. Questions for David? All right. It has been moved by Cecilia Robinson Woods, seconded by Zane Boatwright, that we approve item F. Is there further discussion? Cast your vote. Unanimously passed. Item G, David.
Item G is recommend resolution approving change order number 11, project M3-P016, WC1000, SC 1073, MAPS 3 Scissortail Park, MAPS 3 Lower Scissortail Park, generally bounded by I-40, South Robinson Avenue, Southwest 15th, South Harvey, South 10th, and South Walker Avenue, increase of $442,195.86. And authorizing the use of excess collections and/or interest to fund change order number 11. So there are a few things on change order 11. The bulk of that is for water line upgrade, and we've held this for several months, looking to see how all this works out. But if you recall, on the water lines for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, all extended through the park over to Robinson. They provided a grid for the system, and that helps equalize pressures and helps provide service in case there's a break. You can turn off valves and minimize disruptions. We cut those lines off through the park so that we didn't have lines going through the park that would break and have to be repaired. So we have dead-end lines. Now 10th Street goes on through because it is serving the park irrigation system. So 10th continues on through, but 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th do not Those lines are essentially dead-end lines now, and that's not a good situation from a water system, because the water gets stagnant at those ends, and then you don't have the ability to equalize pressure from the other side. And if there's a break, a lot of people can be out of water because you can't backfeed it. So what we are doing is connecting those dead end lines in two places along Harvey Avenue. So this is to connect 12th and 12th, and then 13th and 14th, so that they have a continuous loop through there. The lines in that area are 6-inch. We anticipate that the development in that area will be such that they need more than 6 inches. 6 inches is typically a residential service provider, and when you get bigger buildings and apartments that have sprinkler systems, you need 12-inch lines. So these are going to be upgraded to 12-inch lines. The utilities department is actually going to pay us that difference between the 6 and 12s. What we didn't want to have happen is that we put in 6-inch lines. A year or two from now, developments come in and they need 12s, and they dig up what we just put in. That would just be a tremendous waste. So we're going to partner with the utilities department to turn those into 12-inch lines. So that's what the $857,000 is to connect those lines and get them up to 12-inch lines. There's some additional gravel for the soccer field. There was, I don't want to say dispute, but there was confusion about how much the Fields for Futures was going to provide and what we were going to provide, and this gravel got left out. It's the last layer that lays on there before the artificial turf comes down. So this is to add that gravel back in there, and you'll see that turf will go right on top of that gravel, and it allows the water to drain through that rock and get into the drainage system. And then there's a drainage basin relocation for some lawn areas. We're trying to be very conscientious about some of the little spots. The upper park's got a few little spots that pond some water that isn't ideal, and we want to make sure in the lower park we don't have that situation. The unfortunate part is that this is all having to come out of excess collections because of all the other problems that we've had with, remember, the battery pit and then the public utilities that didn't get removed, and the delay we incurred with that. But we have the money and feel like this is a good use of that. I hope that wasn't too much of an explanation, but I'll answer any questions that you might have.
I'm interested in our partnership with Fields for the Future. They are participating in the construction or in the financial piece of it, or what is their participation?
Both. So they built the substructure of the field, so the drainage piece and some of the subgrade of the field, that soccer field that's over by Walker Avenue. And they're also putting in the futsal court, everything above the slab. And you'll see that that's already been installed out there if you go by. It's some substantial donation they're putting into the park.
Yeah, we ought to somehow publicly recognize this effort on their part to partner with MAPS 3, I think, somehow, don't you, David?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, that may be at an appropriate time when we're ready to cut the ribbon on this or something. They sure ought to have a prominent role in it.
Have we had other projects that people have participated in like this?
Not off the top of my
Can't think of anything
head.
either, yeah.
I can't think of anything, certainly not to this level.
Sure.
Wow, well that's,
I mean, we've had operators, pitch in on the operations stuff, but
Sure.
but this is a different situation. They're not an operator, so.
Absolutely.
well, I guess we kind of hope that if we made a public investment that other people would come in and help us on things they were interested in, and this is kind of a fruition of that hope that people would want to help and contribute. So this is good news for us.
Yes, sir.
David, I had a question on the water lines. So you're talking about this connection between the two streets being 12-inch, but the lines they're connecting to are 6-inch, or are they eventually going to have to replace all the lines on the 11th, 12th, 13th?
They will, and as that develops, I anticipate that'll happen because some of those water lines are nearly 100 years old.
Yeah.
They've been there a long time, so they're going to have to get replaced just because of age. When they go to tapping into them, they're going to split and collapse.
And they won't have capacity for the development that's going on there.
Right, but I think that they'll be replacing all those 6-inch lines that go down those side streets with 12-inch.
Yeah.
That's why we're bringing that up to 12.
Okay, thank you.
I also have a question. I probably could have waited until we talk about the advisory board reports. But yesterday in the Senior Wellness Committee meeting, we had presentations on Centers 3 and 4, but we don't have those today. And I'm just wondering, how do those updates then get out to the public if we don't show them in this meeting?
You know, we'd try to periodically bring those, and I can bring those next month if you want. We just do them kind of as there's significant progress.
Well, obviously,
And now they can't-
I haven't been here in a while, so I don't know when the last update was, but I think there's pretty significant progress.
So that if someone's interested, they can go online and find those presentations if they want to just see them. But we do periodically bring them here. I kind of stagger them so that it's not too much.
Okay. We have before us, I believe, item G, the resolution approving change order number 11 in Scissortail Park. Is there further discussion? All right, it's been moved by Michael Dover and seconded by Zane Boatwright that we approve the resolution. Further discussion? Cast your vote. It passed unanimously, thank you. That then brings us, David, to new business, item 4 on our agenda.
We don't have anything else.
Any member have new business they want to discuss? All right. Then that brings us then to item number 5. Are there any reports from any of the subcommittees that need to be heard today? Okay. David, that brings us to, of course, the highlight of the meeting, your update.
So we talked about Wellness 1, and as Ms. Robinson Woods mentioned, 3 and 4 are well underway if it'll stop raining. We haven't got much done this week, but Wellness 3 is looking like the structure, you know, if you go by there and see that. So that's certainly coming along, and Wellness 4 is a little behind that. Structural steel is going up. We talked a little bit about the park, but if you go by the lower park, it's really coming around, and you know, we're not too far from finishing that project. I believe all the trees are planted, and you'll see the promenades in, and some of the decorative lighting is going up. Most of the other lighting is up, so I encourage you to at least drive by Robinson and see that. We'll bring you an update on that soon. We've got sidewalks out to bid, the excess sidewalks that we had, and then the excess money for trails is, design has started on that, so that's exciting.
We heard in the first presentation, David, some things are being delayed because of supply issues. That something you're seeing happening on the projects?
It is a little bit. We do pay for stored materials, and we've encouraged the contractors to buy those materials and store them in their shop or in portables or whatever, and a lot of that has happened. So with the exception of a few things, steel being one, roofing another, we seem to be getting through it.
Wonderful. Any other questions for David? Well, again, I want to thank each one of you for coming. I know as we head toward the end of our trail here with MAPS 3, it takes a special effort on everybody's part to come, but it's great to have a quorum, and it's great to get our business conducted. And I want to say a special thank you to Bob, who has taken on the big job of serving on Maps 4 as well. No one else was that brave, and we just, so we're glad that you keep coming to be with us, Bob. That's
Well,
great.
thanks, my apologies for running late. I had the Maps 4 time on my head for the meeting. They start at 10:30, and I can't keep it straight as to whether we start at 10 or 10:30. So I was
When you-
planning on 10:30 this morning. My apologies for being late.
Well, at the next Maps 4 meeting, would you convey this message from us? Early bird gets the worm.
I will pass that along.
All right, is there anything further? If not, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you for coming.